Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break.
So Anna, guess what I'm excited about?
I'm not doing this again. You need to just tell me because this did
No,
not work out well last
true.
time.
Oh,
Heather, what are you excited about?
Ghost at a Watchman is coming out.
Yeah.
I know, we've only been waiting over 50 years for the sequel, you guys. It's no big deal.
You personally have been waiting 50 years.
Yep.
You look amazing!
Thank you. But no, seriously, To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my all-time favorite books, so I'm really excited about this sequel.
Yeah, we all have those books that really impacted us in some way that you never forget. So we thought we would talk about books that pack a punch today.
Yeah. So guess which my first book is?
Oh, I actually know this one.
I was gonna say
To Kill a Mockingbird.
There, I threw you a slow pitch. You're welcome. Yes, To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my all-time favorite books. I mean, a lot of people read it in school, but I actually read it before it was assigned, and I've probably read it 5 times since then. I did it before it was cool.
Was that like hipster Catherine coming out?
Hipster Catherine. I read To Kill a Mockingbird before it was assigned. How was that?
Like, perfect.
Thank you. But I feel like it's one of those books that every time I read it, I pull something new out of it. You know, I love what it has to say about like kindness and courage and how everyone's interconnected. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about the Ghost at a Watchman sequel.
Great.
I've got high hopes. So if you're like one of the 5 people in America who hasn't read To Kill a Mockingbird yet, Mom, I'm looking at you. This is your chance. This is the perfect time to read it. What about you? What's a book that's had an impact on your life?
Well, the first thing that came to mind was Harry Potter for a lot of obvious reasons. And, I mean, they just have stuck with me for so long. But I feel like I don't need to go into that because I'm pretty sure 90% or more of the people watching these videos know exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
So I thought of a couple other books that also came to mind that are maybe like less well known but very much impacted me. One of them is Crazy, and initially when I started reading this book it was just to like get the gist of it, read into the beginnings so that I knew like what I wanted to do for the trailer, but I could not put it down.
You read it because you had to, let's be honest.
Yeah, I started reading it because I had to, but then I loved it. And it's one of those books that is a nice, gentle introduction into a social issue, in this case, mental illness, which I had never really thought deeply about before. And so this was a great way to just get my thoughts rolling.
Yeah, and it's really relatable too. You know, it's not just like, oh, this is an issue book and you have to have this issue in order to understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see that. Well, another one of my favorite books is Anne of Green Gables. And I forgot my book at home, but I actually have this Anne of Green Gables quote board, which I made, and I have sitting in my office.
I don't think you need to be embarrassed about that.
It's really casual, guys.
Would you like to share some of the quotes from it?
Okay. Yes. Well, so Anne of Green Gables has an impact on my life because this is the book I go to when I'm having a bad day. When like things are rough, you know, I can always find a ray of sunshine in Anne of Green Gables. And here's a quote. It's been my experience that you can nearly always enjoy things if you make up your mind firmly that you will. So see, it's just like, that's good for when you're having a bad day and the chips are down. It's like, can't control this, but I can control my attitude. Like,
yeah,
I'm as happy as I want to be. So, yeah, it's just, I mean, and who doesn't love Anne Shirley? You know,
right.
She's fantastic.
She is.
Yeah. So, obviously, this book has an impact on me.
Another book that really impacted me is The Atonement Child by Francine Rivers.
I've never heard of this.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Have you heard of Francine Rivers?
I don't think so.
Okay. So she
I just lost all my nerd cred now.
No, it's fine. She's an inspirational author, which is normally like a really bad Christian fiction moniker, but
I didn't know those were like synonymous with
there's
each other.
a lot of not very well written, like wholesome Christian books out there, but Francine Rivers is the exception.
Okay.
The Atonement Child is, I mean, the issue is abortion, but it's very not didactic. And it's about a woman in college who gets raped and gets pregnant, and then she's like at a really conservative Christian college, and everyone surprisingly is like coming up with excuses as to why she should get an abortion and saying this is okay because you were raped, and you can't come to school if you're pregnant because you're not married, and all of these things. And she deals with it in a really great way that it's not too like graphic or dark, but doesn't shy away from the issues.
Right.
So I feel like I read it right at the time in my life where like I hadn't really been thinking about social issues yet. I think I was in like middle school or high school, and so I could get away with just like ignoring the world because no one was asking me my opinion on anything. And then I read this and I was like, oh, like it was another, I guess, gentle introduction into social issues.
Yeah.
So, and I read it a few times and liked it every time I read it. So
Nice.
So Catherine, is there another book that really impacted you?
Yeah, and this one is it's darker than the other two. It's called The War Within These Walls, and I actually read this my first day here at Erdman's because it arrived in the warehouse the same day I started working here. And Kathleen was like, "Oh, you should read this. We just got this book in. You know, you need to familiarize yourself with our list. Like, here you go." And well, this is about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. I should preface it by saying that. So you know, Holocaust, like dark things.
Welcome to your first day.
And I just started crying at my desk on my very first day. And I was like, "Oh my God, I need to get it together." But it was so moving. And yeah, it's just, I mean, I took a class on the Holocaust in high school, and you know, we learned all about the concentration camps and extermination camps and like all of that horrible stuff, but it was still hard for me to wrap my head around. And this book is all about the people who get left behind, the people who are living in the ghettos with all of these restrictions and everything like that. And so it was a lot more relatable because it looked more like my life, and it was easier to like put myself in their shoes and just imagine like all of these horrors, because you still had people, you know, starving and being beaten to death and all of this terrible stuff.
Right.
I feel like I'm being a giant rain cloud now. I shouldn't have ended with this one.
How can you not be a giant rain cloud when you're talking about the Holocaust, though?
It's true. Yeah, it's true. But I mean, it is a book that's had a serious impact on me, and you know, you have to appreciate even the sad books for that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what books really impacted you? What books punched you right in the soul?
Right in the feels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would love to know. You can let us know in the comments or on Twitter.
That's right, we're on Twitter now.
We are on Twitter now.
Surprise!
So you can follow us at CoffeeBreakEBYR.
Yep. You'll see a really cute picture of these faces right here.
Yep, exactly like that.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.